Hi, my name is Nick Starchild, and this is Transguy Reacts. And today I am going to be talking about the Kim Mulkey Washington Post situation. This channel is mostly about reactions to women's basketball, collegiate or pro. So, what more appropriate time to react to Kim Mulkey situation? So, I don't know honestly all the details other than Washington Post is writing an article about her, and the writer reached out to former players and offered them to essentially give the real record about her. Um, and apparently she responded, and she is pissed. She's mad. She's big mad. So I want to like react to her reacting to the situation, and she made a statement. So let's get into it.
Porter has been working on a story about me for 2 years. After 2 years of trying to get me to sit with him for an interview, he contacts LSU on Tuesday as we were getting ready for the first round game of this tournament with more than a dozen questions, demanding a response by Thursday, right before we're scheduled to tip off. Are you kidding me?
She's pissed. Okay. First of all, if if a reporter is asking you to give information, a bunch of questions, and giving you a really tight deadline, it's like, yeah, well, you don't have to respond and be like, dude, I don't have time for that. I'm in the middle of something. Like, you could just be like, nah, dude, I'm good. But she's like, she's pissed already from them reaching out to begin with.
This was a ridiculous deadline that LSU and I could not possibly meet, and the reporter knew it. It was just an attempt to prevent me from commenting and an attempt to distract us from this tournament.
Maybe.
It ain't gonna work, buddy.
It ain't gonna work, buddy. I love that she is like fully invested in her reaction, her statement, and she's like acting it out as she's saying it. That's great. I love it.
Unfortunately, this is part of a pattern that goes back years.
Years.
I told this reporter 2 years ago that I didn't appreciate the hit job he wrote on Brian Kelly.
I don't know who Brian Kelly is, so I can't give any context of that. But okay.
And that's why I wasn't going to do an interview with him. After that, the reporter called two former college coaches of mine and left multiple messages that he was with me in Baton Rouge to get them to call him back. Trying to trick these coaches into believing that I was working with the Washington Post on a story. When my former coaches spoke to him and found out that I wasn't talking with the reporter, they were just distraught. And they felt completely misled. Former players have told me that the Washington Post has contacted them and offered to let them be anonymous in a story if they'll say negative things about me.
First of all, I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, it is probably true that they offered for people to go on record anonymously, because that's what reporters do. They don't out their sources. But I don't know if that person actually told them, hey, don't, if you want to say negative things, you don't have to be on the record. Like, she might be embellishing that. Who knows if that's actually true? But maybe it is true. I don't know.
The Washington Post has called former disgruntled players to get negative quotes to include in their story.
Yeah, I mean, if you're writing a story, you're gonna talk to everybody, the people who are happy with you and the people who don't like you, because you gotta hear both sides of the story. So okay.
They're ignoring the 40 plus years of positive stories that people or they have heard from people about me.
How does she know that they're ignoring that? Like read the story yet. You don't know what it says. He might actually, the person who's writing this might actually include some positive things about her, because you can't deny that her history is like pretty strong in terms of her coaching career and the background of that. But everything else, well,
But you see, reporters who give a megaphone to a one-sided, embellished version of things aren't trying to tell the truth. They're trying to sell newspapers and feed the click machine.
yes, I would agree that newspapers are trying to sell papers because no one is supporting the news. It's a dying industry. So you have to make clickbait titles and write about controversial things to get people to read it. And those controversial things and those like hit pieces, which get more eyeballs, those are the ones that actually pay the salaries for the other people who are writing the real news. And that's just a fact. Like no one wants to support like the news or like real journalism. And so we've moved to a point where journalists and media have to have like sensational things so they can get more eyeballs because y'all don't want to pay. No one wants to pay for it. So you don't want to pay for real journalism, so you ain't gonna get real journalism. So I can't really like knock the system. It's just this is how it's been for like the past 15 years. Like this is it. This is how it is.
This is exactly why people don't trust journalists and the media anymore.
I don't think so. I think I don't know if people. People is a very broad term. Who are you talking about people? I think conservatives don't trust the media. I think that they think that the media is out to get them and also that she's bumping journalists and the media together, which are two different things. Journalists have an integrity. They do things that are like there's like ethics around it, and they're supposed to be like researching things and doing all this stuff. But the media can be an magalus thing. It could be a very big thing. It could be influencers. It could be people who are just interviewing you for whatever publication they work for, but they're not actually journalists. A journalist means something, but media not necessarily. Media could be a lot of things. So, pretty broad statement is be like people, in media and journalists, people. She's talking really broad, like she's talking for everybody. You ain't talking for me. I trust the media. I trust the media. I trust journalists. It just depends where they're coming from. I don't trust, right wing conservative media and journalists, but I trust people who are in the middle, who are giving me both sides of the story. Yeah.
It's these kinds of sleazy tactics and hatchet jobs that people are just tired of.
Are people tired of it? I don't think so. I think you're tired of it. I think a lot of people want to know and want to read it. I think people are interested. That's why this is happening to you.
I'm fed up.
Clearly.
And I'm not going to let the Washington Post attack this university, this awesome team of young women I have, or me without a fight.
Sorry. That's kind of rude of me to be like making fun of her things, but she is mad. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot of emotion here.
I've hired the best defamation law firm in the country, and I will sue the Washington Post if they publish a false story about me.
Okay. One, why are you spending money before something's even happened? I guess, you it sounds like you're going on the offensive because you worried about something. Two, defamation lawsuits don't really work in the United States. It's just a way for lawyers to make money. Like, we have the First Amendment, and you're allowed to say things that are true and factual, even if they don't make the person look like good. If they're saying facts, that's not defamation. That's just that's just reporting on the story. And I mean, she can sue the Washington Post. She can't sue the person. She can sue the Washington Post, and she's probably not going to get anywhere. And she's going to spend like a couple $1,000,000, and it's mostly just going to go into the pockets of the lawyers. So it's kind of dumb. And I'm like, why are you giving this attention? Okay, anyway, let her go.
Not many people are in a position to hold these kind of journalists accountable.
She got money.
But I am.
She got money.
And I'll do it.
She will. She got the money.
That's all I'm going to say about this right now. And now I'm going to get back to talking about my basketball team and winning this game tomorrow.
All right.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Wow, that was interesting, to say the least. I think the fact that she even brought it up to begin with says a lot. Because usually there's been many things said about her and written about her, and she usually does not care. She doesn't address it. She doesn't talk about it. She's often has said that she doesn't read the things that are written about her. She's not interested. But she chose to respond to this. So that lets me know that the things that are coming out are not only credible, but they're going to be very, very damaging to her image or whatever. But I don't see what the problem is. Like, people already know who she is as a person. Like, as a coach, she's amazing. She's a fantastic coach. As a person, she's kind of terrible. She's a terrible person. She says awful things. She doesn't think before she speaks. Yeah, she's a little immature at times. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's been many occasions, like very clearly, like how she treated Brittany Griner. Um, some other things that went on that she said at Baylor about the football team. Y'all remember that about the sexual assault stuff. Like, she's she's not like the people's champ. You know what I mean? But people respect her because of her coaching abilities. Um, I think her even addressing this is a distraction. Like, the team came out, like the team when they played their game, they were not together, and obviously this affected her and maybe affected the team. Who knows? But uh, I don't know. I was watching I found out about this between it was like the in between like halftime reports between Elle Duncan, Rebecca Lobo, and Andrea Carter, and so they were talking about this, and Rebecca Lobo said, her team tends to thrive in chaos, so this might be a good catalyst for them in terms of kicking them in the butt and getting them to get their stuff together, and maybe they'll do well in the tournament. Andrea Carter called out that she normally doesn't address these type of thing, and she thinks it's interesting that she's responding at all, which I agree with. I'm just like, the fact that she's responding to this, it makes me feel like, oh, and you guilty, girl, you feel guilty. You know that what's going to come out is not going to be pretty, because I suspect that she has said some really really problematic stuff to her team, to the students in the past, and or have done things that have rubbed people the wrong way, and she doesn't want that to get out, and it will. This is, I mean, and even if it's not like it's only half true, it doesn't matter. It's just like if it's true, it's true. Some of it's true, it's true. Um, and it might be sticky because you think about to like the whole Penn State paternal thing. It's less if you're not even directly involved, but you're in the vicinity of what's going on, it can tarnish your career. But she's said a lot of crazy things in her career and hasn't really gotten that much trouble for it. So I don't know why she's tripping about this piece. Like, is it that serious? And yeah, this reporter calling you and demanding all this stuff, I'm just been like, boy, I ain't got time for you. I'm busy. I'm working, and I wouldn't have given this any time of day. But the fact that she has lets me know that she distracted. She's invested in this whatever's going on. So that's her problem. I mean, well, it'll be entertaining for us in the public to find out what's going on. But wow, what a change of events in a couple of weeks. You know what? And I think not only, I mean, this was being written about 2 years ago, but like I'm sure the catalyst didn't help when LSU and South Carolina had that scuffle on the court for the SEC game, and then her comments afterwards, which were very inflammatory and really inappropriate. I'm sure that didn't help. I'm sure that reporter was like, "Ooh, you are just confirming what I've been hearing, and I am gonna definitely move forward with this." So, anywho, it's not my problem, but I am gonna be here for the popcorn. I'm gonna be eating it up. It's fun. Who doesn't like a little drama in their life? I don't watch reality TV. This is my reality. So, look forward to the next chapter, and I'll keep y'all posted on what happens next. And see y'all in the next one. Later.